A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu. Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths but have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything.
You know what was on my mind this morning was, do we have any like follow-ups? Like, I feel like we're always like, you guys, like, please let us know, my darlings. Like, how did that work? And do people just not follow up, or are you just so buried in questions about wedding planning?
Okay, so here's the thing. It was impossible to find follow-ups in Instagram DMs, but we have just recently switched to also including emails, so we'll start getting more follow-ups. We haven't yet, but now I have folders, so it's going to be a different situation.
I think if people, I mean, in order to follow up, that means you'd have to be listening to in that moment when we answer your question, they're like, please follow up. So if you follow up, maybe put in the subject heading, this is a follow-up. No? Okay.
Reply to the email that you've already sent.
All right, whatever you want. I don't know how that works. Whatever you want. I just think my idea is better for you.
No, because then they're creating a new email.
Yeah, but if it says follow up, and then if you change the subject,
okay,
way it's like the context is in there, the past email is there.
All right. The email is askilizapodcast@gmail.com. You can keep DMing in, but if you want a full follow-ups threaded situation, email us. It's going to be much easier.
Do we need to bring on an intern? Is it too much work?
No, literally this email thing is going to solve everything, but we just started it.
Okay. To answer all of your questions, you guys, my trip was amazing. I guess I'll just make going to Iceland my top of the cob.
Okay.
It was going to be Cafe de Olla, like the cinnamon sugar Mexican coffee, but everybody knows that's bomb. So we'll do Iceland later.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Okay, I also had, I'm going to write this. Okay, I'm doing it right now. I was going to make this my top or bottom of the cob. There should be like a combo cob where you're like, I hate it, but I love it. Mm-hmm. That could be a new segment. But I'm just going to say, do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic and like in the middle when people would just be like, hey, you guys, I hope you're staying so safe. Like everything like was preceded with or ended with like, you guys, I hope you're staying so safe. And it was always like from a shitty holier than thou person. Like, you guys, like just know that like I'm the one posting about Black Lives Matter. No one else is. So just know that I'm the only one that understands civil issues. Okay. I hope you guys are staying so safe. Like it was almost the battle cry of somebody who was like there to sell you something. Like click for 15% off. I hope you guys are staying so safe. Like, no, you don't. You hope they're just alive enough to like buy your shit. Hey, hope you guys are staying safe. That's my new thing, by the way, is also doing an impression of a shitty guy every time I impersonate a shitty girl, because I think we're always making fun of women. And there are plenty of like dumb guys out there named like Traxton who have like nutritional supplements.
I mean, I am constantly thinking about when Sandra Bullock was on Adam Ray's podcast and she's like, why do you do that voice for your mom? Like, it's so rude to your mom. She doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. Every guy, I'm talking about this on stage now. Actually, I don't want to talk about it because someone will steal it. I'm so fucking tired of people like stealing my shit and like rebranding it. Like there's that one loser who has like a tweet that went viral that was like, being an elder millennial makes me want to gather around the Modest Mouse. I'm like, that is literally my joke, you fucking loser. And you just changed it from Snapchat to Modest Mouse. There's no way you thought of all of that. I'm just so tired of like the internet comics being like, what if I take hard work from a comic and like rebrand it as my own and put it in a tweet from an account that does nothing and hope it fucking blows up?
You know what's interesting is that used to be like quote unquote a bigger problem. I think it's still a problem, but it used to be there were 2 or 3 big meme accounts. So when they stole stuff, they'd get called out. But now there's so many of those accounts branched off. It's probably a million people are stealing stuff. You're just not seeing it all.
And it's also like, what are you going to do?
Right.
But it is annoying that people are like, look what I can get away with. It's like, oh, about parallel development. It's like, what about you seeing my shit and stealing it because you're afraid to be in front of an audience? Anyway, folks, you got the questions.
I hope you're staying so safe, you guys. Stay so safe. Link in my bio to my toolkit to buy all my shit.
What?
It's always so many of those celebrities. I'm so tired of them.
I'm so tired of your fake altruism. I hope you guys are staying so safe. No, you fucking don't.
They're
Also,
really
we're
worried.
not in a pandemic anymore.
Well,
can I tell you? I had to take a COVID test for a TV appearance, and they sent those like Binax, like mini computers that you just throw away into the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Although, as we know from my Top of the Cob a couple weeks ago, I do take out the batteries to power my podcast, but it didn't work. And I took the little vial out and I put it back in, and then it worked. And then I came up as testing positive. I'm like, that's your default, is testing positive, which of course sent me into a tailspin. And I'm just like testing myself with other tests. I don't have COVID.
No.
But like, that's bullshit that it wouldn't just blink or say like error. It's like, well, if it fucks up, we'll just say you have it.
Yeah, I saw that test because Jamie Lee Curtis posted hers because everybody got sick at the Golden Globes. Now they all can't go to the Critics' Choice Awards and whatever else.
So I'll tell you what, I went to the Jimmy Kimmel 20th anniversary, Jimmy Kimmel Live 20th anniversary party, and they did not mess around. It was like, you need to upload this test to a website, prove it with a third party. It wasn't just like, take a picture of your test. And I really appreciated how seriously they took it.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people do the test just so they don't get sued for like spreading COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I felt safe. I didn't love breathing on people, but I felt safe. And I've definitely done some high profile things where they're like, just send us the picture or whatever. And you're like, oh, that's right. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So, of course, they did it right.
Yeah.
Now
That we're staying so safe.
Did you watch that new documentary that has a big Jimmy Kimmel chunk, the hitchhiking hatchet wielder? Like 30 minutes of it was just about his appearance on Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Hi, Iliza and Emily. I'm a 38-year-old guy in Utah, and I was diagnosed with schizophrenia at age 16. In the past 3 years, I've gotten down to a respectable 212 pounds, gotten a degree, and obtained a position as a writer at a marketing agency. I've only dipped my toes in the water so far, but I am attracting better looking and better educated women, and I've never been more viable as a mate. How do I go about...
Well, that's one way to not make yourself viable, is describe yourself as a viable mate.
How do I go about disclosing my illness in a dating setting? If I wait too long, it could verge on dishonesty. But if I talk about it too soon, it would likely end whatever chances I might have to prove myself as a partner. I don't feel like I owe anybody an explanation, but I also don't want to withhold something like this that can affect my life to greater or lesser degrees. Where, when, and how would be a good time and a way to tell someone I just started dating? Thanks, Jesse.
I vote first date. Like, that's when, I think we've had this question before where, like,
We had the guy who got out of prison.
Right. I've got a secret, whether you're ashamed or not, which of course you shouldn't be. This is a part of who you are, for better or for worse. And, you know, I'm sure the good side to it, like maybe it, in diagnosing and fixing it, it motivated you to do other things. Like, I'm sure that there are components of this that are not the worst thing ever. This is a part of you. And because you have nothing to be ashamed of, that's what a first date is for.
Yeah.
I feel like people forget, like, that's why you're not just going right to the altar. Like, you're getting to know each other. It's just a first date. It's just coffee. It's just a bloomin' onion. It's just axe throwing. It's just walking around a lake. It's just being in a mansion with 8 other people trying to go on a date with you. Remember when I hosted a dating show? So you disclose it then. And never forget, the right person for you will be okay with it.
Yeah.
And this is for all information, whether it's about your gender or your sexuality or a mental illness or your past or a prison record or your children, or if you prefer cats or dogs. Like, this is a part of who you are, and the other person deserves to know what they're dealing with. Because you're right, if you don't tell them, then it will feel like you were trying to trap them. And the right person will see past it or have questions or go out a second time. And, you can't help that you have it, and you can't help how you manage it. And you say, I have this, I take this medication, here's what I do. And the right person will be okay with it. That's it.
Mhm.
Never forget, like, you're auditioning them too.
Yeah. Tell them when you're face to face. Doesn't need to go on your dating profile. Doesn't need to be DM'd. But if you're
There's a lot that does. I mean, there's trapping. Like, I don't consider that like entrapment. Like, that's a personal medical thing. Like, the government doesn't even have access to that sometimes. So you tell them over a shared macchiato, iced Oreo frappuccino.
I would love that.
I know you would.
Fall has fallen, winter is on its way, the days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat that's one of those It's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
Hi, Iliza, Emily, and assorted babies, both human and fur. Love the pod. I've been an avid listener since the start. I'm 38, female. I have a useless master's degree, which I used to teach high school.
Yo, that is a useful job. Like, you may not use that master's degree, but thank God you're in crippling debt and you're willing to take a job as one of America's teachers because we need you.
Yeah.
So thank you for your service. You know how hard it is to be a teacher? You have to not only understand scholastic adaptations for kids, you have to know karate, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, you got to be like
gun
a
control
therapist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. You have to be a peanut patrolman
Oh.
and shape the young minds of TikTokers everywhere. Okay.
My mom was married and divorced twice. So I have my dad, who has always been in my life, and my stepdad, who has been in my life since I was a young child. My mom and stepdad got divorced 9 years ago, but they were together for 20, and I still maintained a relationship with him afterwards. He was a good grandpa to my son, and he's my brother's dad. We have different dads in case that didn't come across. My mom passed away a few months ago, and we had gone kind of low contact with my stepdad during her illness, mostly out of stress, nothing personal. We posted about the funeral services online and went old school and had it in the newspaper, so didn't specifically invite anyone. Anyhow, I woke up to a group text from my stepdad to me and my brother that said something along the lines of, "You guys didn't invite me to your mom's funeral. I don't know if you forgot or did it on purpose, but if you forgot, you're idiots. And if it was on purpose, then fuck you."
Oof.
So I wrote back saying he needed to give us grace. We didn't invite anyone. He didn't reach out to ask about services, and we were preoccupied. I did reach out to tell him when she died, so he knew that. He again wrote back being very rude, so I wrote back being a lot more curt and said he needed to figure out what his own issue was and not take it out on us, and I blocked his number. Because it was a group text, at some point my brother wrote back saying, "I accept your apology," and so I asked him to send me the apology. It was fine, nothing spectacular. I unblocked his number but didn't say anything. My question is, do I need to reach out? Should I accept the apology? Christmas came and went with no contact to me, but he did mail a gift card to each of my children, and my son texted thanks to him. I don't know what I need to do from here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you definitely reach out. This is a man who you're all hurting. You lost your mom. I mean, I get that it was in the paper and everybody should be given grace because you did lose your mom, but it does feel a little deliberate to not reach out to her ex-husband who was there for her illness and kind of include him. So you're treating what?
She told him that she died. If he could have been like, "Hey, share the funeral details with me when you can. I would really like to attend and honor her memory," or something.
I just think it kind of actually doesn't even matter at this point. He apologized for lashing out. He was hurt. I think you pick up the phone and you say, I did not mean to make you feel bad, whatever part of this. Maybe even you apologize. Like, I apologize for not maybe handling it better, for not thinking I do. I am sorry that I hate to say I'm sorry I made you feel that way because that's not an apology, but you're sorry if your actions hurt him. It was not personal, and just tell him that you love him. He was a huge part of your life and your mother's life and your kids' life. Like, you need to mend this. You made a mistake. You didn't do it deliberately. He made a mistake. He apologized, but you don't want to cut this person out. You should just at least pick up the phone. You don't even have to even talk about it, but just be like, "I'd love to move forward. And, I do love you." This person voluntarily shared their life with you. This is not a dad where they're related to you by blood. This guy has chosen to be active in your life. And I think maybe he deserves just a little bit more than this.
I just can't imagine if my mom just died and this guy who hadn't been with her for 9 years was like, "Fuck you for not inviting me." It's like, well, get out of here.
Yeah, maybe give him a chance to apologize. I think you don't want to totally close this door. That's all.
That's the thing. Yeah, I would apologize. Not even apologize. I would reach out more for you than for him if you want him in your life.
Be like, "I was dealing with a lot. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. It was so hard." And then he'll probably say "And I'm sorry. I should have, whatever." But give it a conversation is owed versus a text. given how much of your lives you shared with each other.
Yeah.
And clearly he loved your mom, you know. It's not like he was there. He's like, I wasn't at the will reading. Clearly there's a love there. Why else would he care so much? Plus he's sending Christmas gifts. Like, this is not a bad guy.
Yeah. All right. Give him another chance.
Yeah.
Hi, Iliza. Emily, Baby Sierra, Town Food. Newest members of the group are Silly and Isles. I need some advice on how to keep your relationship fresh and interesting. My fiance, 28, male, white, and I, 28, female, Filipino, have been together for 6 years, and we don't have a lot of common interests. I tried getting into his hobbies, such as skiing and ice skating. It's just not my jam.
Such as first-person shooter games, bass fishing,
Skiing and ice
professional soccer.
Similarly, he tried getting into my hobbies too, but I can tell he's only doing it to make me happy. I don't want to force him to spend time with me on things I want to do, and he doesn't want to do that to me either. It gets to the point that when we're home together, we sometimes just go on our phones, scrolling aimlessly on social media, and eventually showing each other funny videos and memes while sitting on the couch next to each other. Any advice is appreciated. Okay. Much love from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Meeting you in person last year was definitely one of my highlights of the year. Thanks, Shani.
Yo, Shani, if I knew that you could see the northern lights from Edmonton without going all the way to Iceland, I did know that, and I didn't want to go to Edmonton to see them. But, you know, check out those northern lights. Wow. You have an animal on your shoulder, Emily, that is reaching for your microphone.
Why do you think I've had to put sheaths on all my wires? Because he bit through my headphones the other day.
Oh, my God. Do you love having a cat, a shoulder cat?
He doesn't ever.
I love a shoulder
He doesn't
cat.
ever do it except for now to mess with me. He doesn't do it out of love.
I'm wondering, you guys have been together for 6 years,
and
you're not married.
Well, so 22 to 28, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you together because you don't want to be alone? I'm not saying that that's the case because it's okay to not, like, Noah and I we don't have all of our hobbies together, but it's okay to be comfortable. It's kind of not okay to be an old married couple before you're old or married. So is there a road trip you can take? Is there something that you can discover together? It's totally okay to not be into like weird boy hobbies. And Lord knows very few men are into whatever weird shit girls are into, like over plucking their eyebrows and flattening their bangs and like knitting. So I love how I just like reduce women down to that. But I think you either find something together that you can do together, find something that neither of you want to do, like clean out the garage. But also ask yourself, like, why am I with this person?
Or do you have a great time scrolling your phones together?
Which is adorable and okay, but that's not maybe after you've been married for a while, but like this should still be like adventure time. And also, when you suggest something, is he quick to shoot it down or is he like, all right, I'll do it? Like if you're like, let's go take a cooking class. Let's do a drive. Like let's drive somewhere. Let's rent a cabin. Let's build something.
It sounds like he's down for it, but they just both can tell the other is not into what they like to do. So yeah, you're right. They need a third category of activity.
Yeah, like what connects you though? Like why are you together? Is it just because he's nice? Because you're both nice? Like what connected you in the first place? Can you get back to that? Or is it that one of you is just super hot and the other one just really needs to be near that hot flame? But that's what I'm saying. So pick something fun, go on a local Facebook group or go in the paper, go to that big old mall you guys got. Do you guys like gambling? I'm trying to think of things that are in Edmonton. Go to an Oilers game. Find something just to get out of the house. Maybe just get drunk together. Maybe do some drugs. I'm just saying, is it cooking? It's something that at least that you like watching the other person do. Like, I don't love cooking, but I like hanging out with Noah while he does it, sort of. So find what connects you and go from there. Or reevaluate the whole thing.
No.
Is it a threesome? Okay.
Do you have anything you'd like to say about Noah? Now that we've brought him up.
Yeah, I do. So Noah.
Wait, I want this to be like, did you see the Alec Baldwin video for his wife for her birthday?
Wasn't it like he asked people to follow her?
Please follow my
That's
wife.
So
she has almost 1 million. Please.
I hate that. I hate when people celebrate numbers. I really do. Like, I have almost 1 million followers and that will be cool, but I'm never going to be like, thanks you guys. Thank you to all the bots and weird foot fetishists out there and people who forgot they followed me. Oh my God, 10,000 followers. You guys, my small business that's attached to Instagram. Like, there's something about that grosses me out. Please follow me.
But your fans need to galvanize like Alec Baldwin's fans.
That being said, I'll be the Alec Baldwin. He'll be the Ilaria. And As many of you know, during the pandemic, Noah and I started a cooking show called Don't Panic Pantry. We did it every day for everyone as a place where people come together, feel good, know that we were cooking, feel kind of safe, and get some information that was needed at the beginning of this entire mess. And we committed to it. We did over, I think, 230 episodes. And Noah got a cookbook deal with Knopf, a celebrated, beloved publishing company that only does high-profile dope books. And his book, the Don't Panic Pantry Cookbook, forward written by yours truly, is out January 31st. And so to celebrate that, along with the events, we'll be doing an event at the Long Beach Aquarium. People can buy tickets to that.
Oh,
aquarium.
That's so fun.
In the tank. No, it is fun. We will be, and he'll be on a little book tour as well, little micro book tour, going to a couple cities. Very exciting for him. I shouldn't have said micro, but it's not like a 50 city tour, but he's going to a couple cities. He's really working hard at this. I'm so proud of him. We'll be doing a Don't Panic Pantry live on the 22nd of January, 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Eastern. We'll be posting the ingredients ahead of time so people can cook with us. But we're going to be doing a promotional, say promotional just because it's not like with anyone other than Noah, episode of Ask Iliza Anything with my husband, Chef.
It's not even promotional.
author.
We're doing an episode with a
it's an
with
episode.
a wonderful
All right.
guest with a lot of things to bring to the table.
I shouldn't have said promotional, okay? It's not a paid ad or nothing. With my husband, chef, author, Noah Galutin. So that will be, if you're listening to this episode, it's next week's episode. So if you have questions, it can be about cooking. It can be about advice. It can be about serving food for your family. It doesn't have to be like, I hate cilantro. What's a good substitute? Anything cooking related. It can combine my podcast and cooking, whatever. Anything cooking adjacent, tangential, related. Write in those questions. It'll be he and I. And we'll be talking about this beautiful book, cooking tips, advice, sustainability, nutrition, any questions you got.
DM
We got the answers.
or email askelizapodcast@gmail.com. If you email, put something in the subject line to make it clear it is for Noah, and get those questions in sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So very excited for that.
Hey there, Iliza, Emily, and all the fam. My name is Sarah, almost 40. Birthday is February 7th. We're almost twins, kinda. I truly enjoy your comedy, as this has got me through many days where I could barely crack a smile. I am married to my wife, Jennifer, 44. My mom, Carol, 79, has lived with us since 2014 due to the place she was renting her house from selling the property, and she wasn't able to buy the house. My mom was single and working a job, partially retired, and didn't receive much money from SSI nor her employment. So I got my wife's approval to let her move from Montana, where she was, to Portland, Oregon, where we live. In 2020, my mom had a stroke and I became her full-time caregiver. I quit my job and have been compensated through the state to care for her. She has recently been diagnosed with vascular dementia, which has made caring for her extremely stressful and so very sad. I haven't taken care of my mom by myself for almost 3 years. No help from my brother or sister, who do love my mom and have contact with her, but live in other states and have refused to help. Mom's doctor has suggested to her that she start thinking about maybe transferring to a care home where she will have people available for her around the clock and allow me to step down now. Mom did not like this idea. A few days later, I brought up to her and mentioned how I thought it was a good idea and assured her I would still see her all the time. We would still do things, and it would be more fun this way because I could just go back to being her daughter and not her caregiver. I also told her that I was interested in pursuing a new career. She agreed it was the best idea. A day went by and she told me she just couldn't go in a home and that she wanted to remain home with me, and she was sorry. Like I said, nobody in my family is willing to step in and help me. Part of me feels bad for wanting to place my mom in a facility, but the other part of me knows that she will eventually need the type of care that I can't provide her and will have to go into a facility anyway. I really wanted someone's opinion on what I should do who's completely unattached to the situation. So what would Iliza do? Thank you so much. I'm sorry this was long as fuck. Love you all.
That's so hard.
What a great
mean, you
wife,
can't-
though. That's just like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're in it to win it.
Is it possible? I mean, what if it's a compromise where you go back to work full time and you pay for full-time care that comes and helps mom? Is that
so
doable?
expensive?
With that money, or will the state like supplement that?
The state is probably like, go into the home where we can do it our way.
can't help you with this because I don't know your mom and that's probably so scary for her and she doesn't want to like die sooner in a home. Is there at least a version where you take her to one nearby and show her how great it is? I'm just like trying to explore other options because right now it's very black and white. It's like, I'm here, I'm slowly dying, taking care of my mom. Can your brother and sister chip in at all and be like, here's the situation, you fucking pieces of shit? Like, can the three of you split it for full-time care? That way you can live your life. I mean, you have been such a good daughter. 2014, that's a lifetime. And so it's easy for me to be like, you need to do what works for you, but it's your mom, you love your mom, and your mom clearly has like the cognitive faculties to disagree with this. It's not like she's incapacitated and doesn't know. So I think you just sit down and you be like, here's what has to happen. I can't do this. Maybe get Zoom with mom and the brothers and sisters because it feels like they're doing this from far away and they're like, whatever. They may not realize how bad it is too. They're like, well, she's taking care of mom.
Yeah.
And you just say like, and also like, I hope your mom lives for a while and she's okay, but like you need to set up your life and your wife, like you guys need a home. Like you need to be wife and like live like that. So think about what you want and think about what those compromises are. But I'm annoyed that your brother and sister aren't helping, but I think between the three of you, perhaps you could financially solve this by having someone that comes at least from like 9 to 6 or something.
Yeah. I also wonder, like, this is a horrible question, but is it a short enough period of time? Do they think that you could just keep her at home and bear it for another year max? Like what's
that's
the
a lot
prognosis?
though.
I know I know it's a lot of time.
Also,
out
why
of your life.
Lie to your selfish brother and sister and be like, I'm putting her in a home. I need you to help me pay for it. And maybe they will, and then just take that money and get that full-time care that lives at your house or that comes to your house.
Yeah.
I think that's if you can. But I'm sorry. You need to first get on the horn with your brother and sister and mom and be like, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I really want to move away from this question because it's very upsetting, and I'm really sorry.
We have a follow-up.
You're a really good daughter.
I lied.
Make sure that will only has you. Grab your mom's little hand and sign her name. Be like, all money goes to Donna. Donna, the number one daughter. Portland.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow, and the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get up to 50% off selected items during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
We do have a follow-up for the
follow-up.
An update to sister-in-law uses her baby to bully me. And follow-up question.
I remember this. Emily, do you want to give a recap?
Yeah, so this baby, this woman, her sister-in-law would be like, oh, the baby doesn't like you very much. Oh, the baby's favorite is the other one. Oh, the baby is not that into you. Instead of just saying, I hate your guts.
Right.
And so this person says, thanks for the quick response. Love and a little embarrassed that you knew the meaning of the name Morena. My name is uncommon and identifiable, so I picked something that sounded similar to my real name. I believe you're right about her being insecure and maybe a little jealous. We're both normal looking, although Bethany has made comments. So, Iliza, you had said, like, are you really hot? And she's a freak.
It's like my first line of questioning for everything is like, who's hotter? What's happening here?
We're both normal looking, although Bethany has made comments over the years that lead me to believe she is unhappy with the size of her body and jealous of the size of mine. So there you go. For the holiday.
She's like jealous of the size of mine. Mine is huge, and she hopes to get bigger.
For the holidays, since we were around each other a lot, I gave her no oxygen and did my best to take myself out of her game. On New Year's Eve, us siblings and our partners went to a kickback where Bethany didn't know anyone. Thinking back on it, she didn't talk to anyone outside of siblings, didn't drink, and left early. Meanwhile, I drank, stayed late because we were still having fun, and became friends with a group of girls from Japan I just met. Thank you for affirming me and reminding me of the power I have. I'm not an annoying 16-year-old anymore. I'm a woman with my own life. My follow-up question is related to some of the bummers you pointed out about being a parent. I'm newly married, and we've decided to wait a few, because we were talking about the sister-in-law. It's like, just go for a walk, have a fun drink. She can't go with you, right? So,
like when you're hanging out?
Yeah,
like
to get away from her, yeah. I'm newly married, and we've decided to wait a few years before having kids so that we can get established and enjoy married life together. I feel like we spend a lot of our time right now focused on our careers, but this year I want us to take even more advantage of being dinks and have some fun. What are some things we should definitely do before becoming parents so that time doesn't feel wasted? Thanks again and love the pod.
Just for people who are listening, I've recently found out dinks means dual income, no kids.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a sexual affiliation. Travel. At the drop of a hat, change your plans, travel. It's not that you can't travel with kids, but my bottom of the cob was going to be about how difficult my trip was to enjoy because I missed my daughter so much. So even if you remove the logistics of traveling with kids and how expensive it is and how exhausting it is, you miss them so much. So travel, meet other couples. I mean, even if you don't have a ton of money, the ability to just do things at the drop of a hat, not consider a third person. I would travel. I would spend money on stupid things. And that's really it. I mean, my life is not super encumbered by her, but the traveling for your heart and your finances. That's it, baby. Oh, and enjoy like the way alcohol makes you feel and going to bed late. Because once you've had a baby, like it's just weird and different, at least for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Going to bed at 9, feeling real good about it, having dinner at 6. I'm loving it.
I've been so upset because I haven't been able to go to bed at 9 because I have to give one of the cats eye medicine every 8 hours and one's at 11 p.m. And so I get in bed at 9 and just try to stay awake until 11.
How is it? This is the second cat now you've had that has an eye issue.
I know. It's a real problem. It's real
by
tough.
proxy.
Okay.
It's a real problem by proxy. Okay.
Hi there. Hope you wise ladies can help me with a tricky situation with a friend. I'm a 32-year-old married female, and my friend, who we will call Harper, is a 35-year-old female in a long-term relationship. Harper and I only met 3 years ago, but we instantly hit it off, and she's become one of my closest friends. She has a heart of gold and is just a wonderful person. Harper is very into Botox and fillers and always trying new injectables to tweak her appearance. I personally am not into injectables at all. No judgment for those who use them, but I have many reasons for being against them personally, mainly around the unknown long-term health effects and how easy it seems it can be to get hooked on them. On that note, over the past year or so, Harper has gone way overboard. Her face looks almost entirely different than when I met her. She looks incredibly unnatural and frankly just bad. My friends and family have made comments to me when they see us together on social media like, so what's with your friend who has all the work done? I even once overheard some of my husband's friends saying she looks like Michael Jackson or a hooker. Yes, I know this is super mean of them. It had been on my mind I needed to find a loving way to talk to Harper about this. I once broached the subject, saying something about societal pressures on women to not age, and she got slightly defensive and said, injectables make me feel more confident and there's nothing wrong with that. Not long after this, Harper had an autoimmune health scare, and as part of her treatment, her doctor recommended no injectables for several months. I thought this was potentially a blessing in disguise. As her work wore off, she'd realized she overdid it. However, she's nearing the time frame her doctor gave her, and she's been saying how excited she is to finally get things done again. She even said she hates seeing recent pictures of herself where she can see visible wrinkles and hates how, quote, small her lips have gotten. Side note, I can barely even tell that any of her work has worn off. It breaks my heart that such a great friend clearly has some underlying insecurities about her appearance. Any advice on how to potentially help her? I know you're always saying women shouldn't be afraid to talk to their friends about tough subjects, and I usually have no issue doing so, but this situation feels extra delicate because it involves her appearance and insecurities. If it goes poorly, I'm afraid how it might affect our friendship. Thank you.
That's fair because, that's fair. I always say women should have tough conversation with their friends. It's like, hey, your boyfriend's abusive. Like things where you're like, I'm literally doing this for your safety. And if you want to break up with me as a friend, like at least I've said my piece. This is trickier because it's so complex and layered. Like she feels this way about herself from not only societal pressure, but the way she grew up. This is such a deep-seated self-esteem issue. Everybody has self-esteem issues in one way or another. And I hear you. When you don't do injectables, I don't do anything like that. It's very easy to look at other people and be like, oh, how can you do that? Or to kind of judge that. You're also not as old as her. And I appreciate that you're within like shooting range of 35. It's always tough when someone younger tells someone older not to do something because the older person will look at you and be like, well, when you're my age, you might do this. Yeah. And you might, you don't know. It doesn't sound like she's going to be receptive to this. And you don't want this to become combative or uncomfortable. The truth is, it doesn't actually matter for your friendship what she does to her face. And the other truth is, nobody wants to look weird looking. She might think she looks good, and that's the slippery slope with these things. Mm-hmm. And if something does look weird, like then that's an accident and there's an imbalance and that's not what she intended. But it's like if you really want to go digging, you might bite off more than you can chew in terms of saying something.
Yeah. The fact that she's saying she can tell a big difference and you there's nothing different with her face and she's like, oh, my face is getting wrinkly. I can't wait to inject more stuff. And they're like, there's clearly some sort of dysmorphia going on that's outside. Nothing you say is going to change that for her, unfortunately.
I mean, at the gentlest, like you almost want to throw out feeler conversations to see how she'll react because you don't want to get into a whole thing and you don't want to be her therapist. Maybe being with her and just being like, hey, I just want to let you know it's been like 7 months and I think you look great. Like maybe like give, be like, I haven't even noticed it. Like, are you sure? It's tough because you don't want to be like, are you sure you want to do more? Because now you're questioning her ideas and you're questioning almost her intelligence and her like knowing her own body. But maybe throwing out a feeler compliment, being like, I think you look great. Like, are you sure you want to do more? And just see how she reacts to that. But you're dealing with a lot of complexity plus societal pressure. And I think it just might be too complex. Because again, if her face is fucked up, there's nothing she can do about it. She knows that. So
problem is she needs like a sibling to be like, you look like Michael Jackson. Like it can't come from you.
Yeah. Maybe she'll say a couple things. Maybe you can like keep an ear out for if she does say something about her face. And maybe, there is the version, I don't know the dynamic between the two of you, but there is the version where you, this is the opposite of what I just said, where you're just like, hey, I just want to talk to you. Be like, I've noticed you're really ramping up these injectables and you're such a beautiful girl. I think it's, God, I don't fucking know.
I don't know why this is so, it just feels so loaded.
It's tough. I mean, people become bulimic and anorexic and obsess about their bodies over almost nothing sometimes, and people hate their faces. And I mean, I have a pretty high self-esteem and sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like these things run so deep. So all you can do is be a good friend to her. And if she asks you anything, you can just be like, I don't think you need anything more, but you're not here to fuck her. You're here to be her friend. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're attracted to her. I don't think this is true, but is there part of you that like, you don't want to deal with the comments, And if those people didn't say anything, would this be as big of an issue? And also maybe being a friend is being like, that's a really fucked up thing to say. Like, would you say that to her face, to her Michael Jackson face?
And could you so that we can move past this?
Also, like, is it really that bad? Yeah, right. Is it really that bad? That's funny. That's really funny. Could you? But there is the version where you call and you be like, I just want to let you know, I think you're absolutely beautiful. And I'm just looking out for you. I just don't want you to do too much and then you can't go back.
Hmm.
And then she'll say to you, like, I keep an eye on this. My doctor is really, really good. We know what we're doing. There are doctors out there that will just keep taking your money. So it might just not be. I mean, not all friendships have 100%. No friendship has 1000% transparency where you can just talk about literally everything. There's always sore spots and soft spots, and this might be one of them.
Yeah.
So there might be a chance where you can say how you feel, but you might just have to live and let live.
Hi, Iliza, Emily, and the rest of the AIA crew. That means you hot, Scotty. I'm 39, married, straight female, not a trucker, nurse, or in grad school. Haha. This is Katrina. We can use a first name. Exciting. My mom hosted Christmas for the extended family. My uncle didn't come because he was sick, but his wife, my aunt, mom's sister, did come. My aunt sat across the table from me and my husband and hacked up a lung during dinner. There were assigned seats at dinner. 48 hours after that encounter, both my husband and I started feeling a scratchy throat. I tested the next day and it was positive for COVID. I know for a fact that I got it from my aunt. My husband and I work from home. We'll wear masks every time we go out. Plus, we were snowed in for a few days before Christmas, so we couldn't see anyone or do anything before the party.
Yeah.
My aunt came to the party because she was, quote, not sick and said my uncle, quote, just had a cold. Of course, they didn't do a COVID test to be sure. Why would they? In their minds, COVID isn't real. She even told my father that same night that she, quote, isn't going to be putting that stuff in her body anymore when they were discussing vaccines. More context, I have an autoimmune disease, so when I get sick, it majorly kicks my ass, and I pick things up more than the average Joe. My husband also has underlying conditions. I had COVID March 2020 when you and Smokey Husky had it, and it was bad. Then I got it again before the 2022 July 4th holiday. We have been so careful. We don't see friends as much. Again, and don't go out and do things like we used to. And of course, we've been vaccinated up one side and down the other, another booster right before Thanksgiving this year. I want to draw a definitive line in the sand and never, ever spend another holiday with these fundamental Christian wackos who deny that COVID is real and refuse to be vaccinated. That being said, I know it will really hurt my mom if I put up that boundary. I'm pissed at her too because she didn't tell her sister not to come when she found out that my uncle was sick, but that's another question altogether. These fuckers made us have to cancel our holiday plans with the family we did want to see, cancel celebrating my dad and husband's birthdays, and ruined my 2-week vacation. My aunt started to feel sick the day after Christmas. She also got my 88-year-old grandma who has MS sick as well. So, do you think I can/should cut these useless people out of my life for good? My mom's entire side of the family are COVID deniers, by the way. My parents aren't. I know life is short and family is important, but our health, our time, and our overall well-being should also be considered. Thank you for your sage wisdom. I can't wait to see you in Portland, Oregon again. I'm pretty sure I've seen you nearly every time you've come to town. Also, happy 40th birthday this year. I'm turning the big 40 soon too. Eek. You guys are twinsies.
Eek. We are twinsies. We are COVID mirror twinsies. You cannot make her get a vaccine, obviously, and you cannot make her believe in science. But what you can request is that if it's the holidays at your house, is that right?
No, it's her mom's house. And aunt came knowing that she was sick.
Okay. Everybody needs to test. That way, you don't have to get a vaccine. Everybody, the tests are free. Everybody has to test. And an email goes out. We did this for our Thanksgiving. We have pregnant relatives. We have babies here. Everybody has to test. And we ask that, I mean, now granted, we all believe in science. So people had no problem like staying in, staying safe, whatever. If you're coming on a plane, people wore masks. Everybody has to test. And it's got to be a real test. And if they're not even willing to do that, then they're not invited. And your mom and you need to have like an alliance and be on the same side for this because that is too big a price to pay. Everybody has to test and everybody really should test in the days coming. It's tough because you can test negative and still have it or they're just not invited. And your mom has to be on the same page and be like, you got them sick. And by the way, like the odds of them coming again and them getting you sick, but this is more about just respecting each other. I get you don't want to get a vaccine because you totally know the chemical compound of literally everything that's ever gone in your body. So of course you're worried of a vaccine, but there should be no issue with testing.
I think what's frustrating, it's like the testing, yes. The question that's being asked is, can I cut them out? Can we do this? Can we do that? Yes. I think the part that really is infuriating to this person and infuriating to me is that this woman knew her husband was sick, knew it was possibly COVID, knew she probably had it, and went there anyway. And that disrespect is just so maddening. And that like lack of care. All the testing in the world doesn't matter because that's the person who's going to lie and say, I tested negative or like take a picture from the internet. you know?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be like uploaded with your license. There are also like third-party I mean, I've had to do with all these recently. Third-party verifications. Like, you shouldn't have to do this. Your family should love you and care. You should have no problem putting this to her. By the way, she could have thought she was just sick. Some people get COVID. It's not so bad. But the fact that you would go even with a cold, knowing someone has an autoimmune issue, is super fucked up. Even if you knew for a fact it was just a cold, you shouldn't have been going.
No.
So there's also, so part of me is like, put this to them, see what they say. But like, you don't need the stress, especially like, we're the same way. Like, we wear masks because we have a baby at home. We're very safe. And when like people like us get sick, it's extra infuriating because like we're doing all the right things and responsible things. So fuck them, fuck that. But get your mom on your side, because this should be a united front, not just you being like that one liberal nut.
Yeah, if the aunt
that wants to take away your guns.
The aunt got her daughter and her mother sick. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, this email subject: old fur babies versus fresh flesh baby.
Oh, man.
Iliza, Biscuit Nose, and fam. Hello, all. I'm Mackenzie, 34 female. I'm due with my first child in 7 weeks, and I need some advice. My husband and I have 2 dogs, Meatball and Rigatoni, and we keep getting comments like, those dogs won't know what to do when they actually have to become dogs, and you better stop spoiling them so much or they'll be too jealous when you can't pay any attention to them. And to be honest, it makes my blood boil. My dogs are my babies too, and I know you can relate. It's not that I don't know that priorities change when you have a human baby, like duh, but damn, what do I say to these naysayers? Cough, my parents cough. I know they will never love my pets like I do, and even if there is some truth to it, I'm just so tired of the just you wait until ... comments. Do things really change that much? Was there anything special you did for Tianfu to make the transition easier? Thanks, Liza and Emily. Love you both so much. P.S. Who do I need to talk to get you to come to Portland, Eliza? You'll be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a big tour coming out. And I was just there for my last tour. So, but I'll be there. I'll be there. Don't worry. We would never, ever leave Portland off. Unless you mean Portland, Maine, which I'm also coming to.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
she means Portland, Oregon. First of all, this is going to be a really unpopular opinion, given that 2 people have already said it. I have never used and will never use and do not condone the term fur babies. I just don't.
I love it in contrast to fresh flesh baby. I'm going to call people's human babies flesh babies.
A flesh baby. I also don't ever call my dogs my children. I appreciate that some people do. It is a bridge I would never cross, even before I had kids. I would have called Blanche my soulmate and my wife, but never my child. It's much more sensual than that. Listen, Tianfu is baby. Tianfu is my baby, and we're very sweet to her, and we did everything with her. And especially leading up to giving birth, like, you're extra nesty. It is a chemical thing. You clean more, you get your house ready more. And when I look back in the days and weeks before I gave birth to Sierra, the obsessive psychotic amount of pictures I took of the dog, like blurry pictures of her sleeping, pictures of her doing nothing, just like, oh my God, look at this. Because chemically, like, you're getting ready to care for something. I came home from the hospital with my baby and I looked at Tianfu and I looked at Noah and I was like, oh no, I don't love Tianfu as much.
What?
Like, I just don't. And Noah goes, counterpoint, he goes, you love her an appropriate amount now. It does change. Your heart can get bigger, but you'll see. It doesn't mean you don't love your dog, but you're focused as a mother instinctively on caring for your baby. The dogs adapt. Tianfu did not like the baby, not in a bad way, just like avoided her completely. And now when we play with the baby, Tianfu comes right in and she's a tiny, adorable dog and the baby plays with her. The animals figure it out. You don't have to do anything. Hopefully these aren't like aggressive, large dogs. Tianfu is just like a little stuffed animal, but the dogs figure it out. And you have time to be with the dogs. Like, Tianfu's favorite time is after Sierra goes to bed. Like, she's like, cool, it's just the 3 of us. And she gets in bed and she cuddles even more now. So they cherish their time with you. It all works itself out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about it. You only have to put up for 7 more weeks with these people in their comments. And when they say something, just be like, I think it'll work out just fine. I plan on breastfeeding all of them equally. Kick it. Dog milk.
Insert Emily's intense descriptive voice of age and gender here. I, 30, female. My partner, 34, male. My partner is a chef. Can we talk about the consistent question? OMG, does he just cook for you every single day? It's like, no, Becky, do you do accounting for your partner every day? Didn't think so. Eat glass. I digress.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
We are on the road to getting engaged and eventually married, obviously. I work in the wine industry and know I can get wine for our wedding at cost. My boyfriend, who is a Michelin star.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
One thing. She's like, does he cook for you all the time? No. Noah does cook for me all the time. And apparently you do get wine all the time because you're getting it for your wedding. Whoa. The worst is like, you getting drunk all the time? You're like, yeah, I'm drunk at work. More cab, please.
My boyfriend, who is a Michelin star chef, wants to do all of the prep and most of the cooking himself. He does have great connections with purveyors, which is all wonderful, though I think he's going to burn himself out. We will likely have 75 to 80 people with a $20K budget. We have talked about non-traditional venues, though I assume many venues will likely have us use their menu because capitalism. What did you guys do for your wedding in regards to food with Noah being a chef?
Okay, first of all, it's pronounced Michelin. Number 2, which is funny to me because, like, if there's anything French traveling tire salesmen know, it's good food. Look into the history of the Michelin star. Do not let your husband do that. Under no circumstances should he be doing that leading up to or on the day of the wedding. Okay, I understand some chefs want control. Yes, some venues will make you use their sad menu and their chefs and their food. We found a venue. It was just a blank space, basically, and Noah pulled in a favor with our friend, his friend, who he also wrote on vegetables with, Jeremy Fox. So Jeremy did the catering and the menu, and they allowed us to bring that in. So there is a version where I would have your husband pick a friend of his that he trusts and maybe ask that as a favor, or maybe if that's the wedding gift or something like that. Your husband's going to need control over that menu because food means a lot to him. So find a venue that will allow him to exert that control, whether it is bringing your own food or designing your own menu, but he cannot be doing that cooking. He will burn himself out. He will go crazy. That will be a terrible experience.
That's so stressful.
So I don't know if Noah helped. A lot of the recipes were from Jeremy's book, and Noah loves Jeremy's cooking anyway. So it was just a gift, and that's what you want, is someone else to do it. So be involved in terms of finding the person and maybe planning the menu, but he's got to let that go. It will be a miserable day.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? On your wedding day, get up early and go like peel carrots? No. He's got to be going and getting his beard trimmed and drinking scotch and taking a dump.
A big pre-wedding dump.
That's what all guys do on their wedding. Take a dump.
Hi, Iliza and Emily. I adore and listen to your podcast every week. It brings me so much joy to the point that when I see a new episode added, I give a quick Iliza scream and start listening immediately. Quick question. How excited is Iliza that Book Club 2, the next chapter, is coming out in May? Please tell me she's walking the red carpet at the premiere. P.S. I read All Things Aside and loved it so much I gave it to my 2 best friends for Christmas. Lots of love, Daniel. Now, I've been getting a lot of DMs about Book Club 2. Do you even remember why people would ask you about this?
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait. It was the movie that I can't remember that I saw.
That I know you saw, that I know you paid for. So do you remember seeing Book Club yet? Are you going to see Book Club 2?
Yeah.
You don't. You don't. You 100% don't.
What? Why is this a thing?
Because it was so shocking. It's one of our biggest on-pod arguments.
That I said I saw it, but I don't remember seeing it.
No, that you said that you didn't. You said you didn't see it and you had no recollection of it at all. And I know for a fact, not only did you watch the first half on a plane, you then came home, tried to find it streaming. It wasn't, and you paid to rent it so you could finish it. And this was 2 houses ago. I remember where you were. Okay,
I believe that. I also get a pass because I had a baby, and like I think I have like some sort of dementia because the pages of my life I don't recall, particularly people.
So you're going to probably love the sequel. So there's a movie out there just for you. Okay, Top of the Cob.
I'm definitely going to watch it.
Top of the Cob.
It's the Top of the Cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the Cob.
It's not only do I not remember the movie, I don't even remember the joke. Now I remember. I remember. All right, look. My Top of the Cob is this. Obviously, I went to Iceland. I know people want to. I know you guys want to hear about my trip. It is a beautiful country. In my mind, I was going to have my phone off the whole time and do like this neurological reset. And I did have it off for a lot of it. And I didn't post a ton, but you can only drive so much across an icy expanse before you're like, I turn my phone on. And I think the cell phone was like invented in Iceland. So there was exceptional coverage even by like waterfalls. It's gorgeous. The people are great. It was great. I did a show there, fully sold out. Crowd was awesome. Great sense of humor. So my opening joke was, Iceland, your nature is beautiful. Your people are lovely. Your food is available. And then I just kind of went in on that. The food was fine. It's a lot of fish, no spice.
Noah posted
whatever.
gorgeous pictures of foods I didn't understand. Like he had such a reverence for it. And I was just like, interesting.
You're probably thinking of
choices.
Jomfruen, which was the Danish restaurant where they do smørbrød, which is like open face sandwiches. And I hate dill. And it had like dill, aquavit, and a raw egg. Anyways, I got locks. That being said, we do it. I miss my daughter so much. That was going to also be a bottom of the cob, but something else has taken precedence. The last night we went to a restaurant called Ox. It was an O-X. There's a accent over the O. We made the reservation as we were taking off from LA. It's an exclusive, like really hard to get reservation. It is not cheap. And you walk in and it's like an 11-person seated dinner. I've done dinners like this before where it's just like single bites and it was 20 courses, but they're small bites, whatever. This was, and I'm not exaggerating, I think the best meal I've ever had in my entire life, which is crazy in a city that like doesn't have like exceptional food. This came out of nowhere. I think Noah agrees. It was so outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
I shan't bore you with the details, but my top of the cob is at dinner, we sat next to a couple and they were a good looking couple, probably a little bit younger than us. Black turtlenecks. The girl was in like leather pants and they were kissing a lot. And I heard them speaking German and I turned to them and I was like, are you from Berlin? They were like, how did you know this? And I was like, I could hear your accent. Also, you're in black turtlenecks. Like this is straight out of Sprockets. So we start talking and the guy works in like tech and I don't know what the girl does. And we made friends with another woman. So the 5 of us all go out for drinks after. We've had wine with every pairing of this meal. Like we are blasted. We're getting drunk. And we're so drunk, and Noah and I go back to our hotel room, and I'm getting in a bath because they have so much delicious, free, clean water there that I'm like drinking water in the bath, wasted. And I was like, that couple was so great. We're going to visit them when we go to Germany next time. And Noah was like, they were trying to have sex with us.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, they didn't say anything to me. He goes, that is what he talked to me about most of the night.
Oh, no.
And no, but like in a very like sex positive, non-pressuring way, like, yes, and because the guy kept being like, I'm going to get the DJ to come back to my hotel and we will all go. And I was like, I don't know if it's 1 a.m. I'm kind of like, we will all go. And he was like, and then we can switch partners if you like, but if you do not want this, that is okay as well. And then at one point he was like, he will come to, I was like, oh, I've played Berlin. I'm going next year. And he was like, yes, when you come to Berlin, I will make you schnitzel, because we showed him that there's a restaurant chain called Wiener Schnitzel in the States that does not serve schnitzel. It's just hot dogs. And he was like appalled. When you come to my house, I will make you schnitzel and then we can all have sex. But if you do not want to have the sex, we can just have dinner. Like it was so, and he goes, we had a sex party on New Year's Eve, but there were too many vaginas and not enough penises. Like, I think this dude was just in the nicest way, like just down to have sex with anyone at a party. And they were lovely and we are going to be friends with them.
Oh, great.
You can have sex. I could have sex with you or your wife, or we could switch, or we could do none of these things. It's okay as well.
Very
were
polite. What about that
Very,
poor
very
fifth
sex
lady?
positive.
That fifth wheel, were they inviting her to have sex with them?
She was not invited.
Oh.
Or she wasn't. I don't know about it. But they were all great. And we had the best time at Ox. Shout out to Ox restaurant in Reykjavik for the tastiest of times. What's your top of the cup?
My top of the cup is I finally got my COVID booster and I got it at Publix. And the lady that worked there was so nice because she's like, how's your day going so far? And I'm like, I'm very nervous for this shot. So I already took my Xanax so that I won't pass out. And she goes,
Jesus.
okay. And then she's like, I got stuck on a roller coaster once. And she like gives me a shot. She tells me the story. She goes, I was telling you that story to distract you. And I was like, yeah, I know. Thank you very
Aw.
much. Like it was so like earnest. And like, she's like, I was like, thank you. And you know what? I didn't pass out. So.
Okay. It'd be funny if you were just like, I know this. I was trying to stay awake because your story was so boring. That's great. That's great that as a full adult, you took a full Xanax for
a 0.25 milligram.
And then you drove?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad someone did something sweet. I'm glad that she didn't just check out.
I was honestly, I feel like this like deep into everything. I was like, what is it going to be somebody who's just stocking the soups that the Publix is going to come over and inject me, But I was like, no, this lady's on it. I like her.
We're dealing with this more and more, just people not giving a shit. My car, once again, the Volvo XC60, completely, God damn it. Tianfu, stop.
Tianfu's rebelling.
My Volvo completely died.
Again.
And is in the shop for like a third time in just over a year. They towed it. They called me. I missed the call. I called back 3 times. No one answered. They close on the weekends, which no one told me. And then I called back today, MLK Day. They answered. I asked to speak to the guy. They sent me to his voicemail. No one was like, by the way, he's not here. So they just take your car, don't tell you what's up. Like, what if I was a single mom that needed my car? And they're like, sorry, we're closed and no one's telling you. And I was just like, you either need to give me, this is a lemon, or I'm going to start live tweeting about how much Volvo has like fucked me. So if you work there, just know you guys are doing a real bad job.
Oh boy.
In parts and maintenance. My bottom of the cob is so fucking gnarly. I think you should go first.
Oh, well, so mine, I only did that as my top of the cob, so I could say this bottom. Look, everybody get your COVID booster, et cetera, et cetera. It's helpful. It's good. I got such a sore back and sore muscles from my COVID booster that I still like cannot sleep. All the muscles around that arm hurt. And it is driving me nuts. It's already so hard to sleep with the baby cats fighting on my face.
Sure.
And my back hurts so bad. And I know it's like muscle stuff. I know it's from the booster. And still get your booster. It's where I'd rather have this than COVID. But I'm mad about it because I'm just like, oh, I finally did the right thing. And now I'm like, ugh.
Are you sure it's not because of you were so relaxed on your drive home from Publix that you pulled a muscle?
I'm pretty
so relaxed.
I'm pretty sure.
Did you walk up the stairs in your house? Like, was your body atrophying and you were like, wait, I got to get to the toilet? No?
No, because it's literally just everything around the arm I got the shot on. It's so strange.
That is strange.
I'll be fine. Get your COVID booster, but I'm mad about it.
I don't know how I feel about this bottom of the cob, like sharing it.
Oh, no.
But it's very public now. Okay, so basically, I get a phone call yesterday from my stepmom who never calls me.
Are you allowed to share this?
And I'm like, I think so. I mean, it's in the news.
It is in the news, but people don't know that last name associated with your last name. Our listeners going to be cool and not like reach out to her and say, sorry.
I don't know. I mean,
okay. All right.
It's really crazy.
It is really crazy. Okay. Proceed. Guys, be cool.
Okay.
Don't message anyone about this.
Anyway, she calls. She's like, Iliza? And I'm like, oh my God. My dad died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why else would your stepmom at night be calling you? And then I'm like, yeah. She's like, I have to tell you something. And I start like tunnel vision. I'm like, oh my God, like this is when it happens. But then I hear my dad and I'm like, okay. And they're like, we wanted to call you. We have to tell you something. It's pretty awful. And you're going to hear about it on the news. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, my brother.
Oh, God.
Because my brother lives in Northern California and like an area that there were fires. Like it just gets ravaged by nature when it rains. And it's been so rainy here. And like he just lives in such a treacherous area. And I'm like, okay. To say thankfully makes it sound as if it's good that this happened. But it was just, I think it's very human to be like, oh, okay, I hope it's not X, Y, and Z. But basically, her brother, so my uncle, my stepmom, I've known her my whole life, was murdered by his own son in his house. And I tried Googling like man murdered Orange County, and that brought up so many results for so many other murder cases. But it's just a really horrific thing I definitely knew him. I'd never met the son, and if I had, it was forever ago.
Yeah.
But I felt so bad for their family, their siblings, and just this freak thing. The son was, I guess I shouldn't tell any more details about it.
What do you write on the card for those flowers?
I guess I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I only share it because it is a freak thing. This is not like a sensationalism thing. I felt so bad for her, and their siblings and having to deal with that. And I felt bad for my uncle who has done everything for this kid who was clearly very troubled. And it was just really sad. And then in that moment, I called my brother to say, I love you. Like sometimes when horrible things happen, it like prompts you to call the people that you love. And so it is crazy how things like can just change in an instant. And it's just such a freak thing. That's my bottom of the cob. That is so
Pretty
brutal.
bad. Yeah, that's pretty.
It's horrible. So, yeah, there's something about, I don't have any details, but I'm not sharing anything. This is all super Googleable, but it is just really sad. So,
Yeah.
Woof. Folks, how do you end?
Send in your questions for the Noah episode, cooking environment.
Listen to this. What is this? What is it? It's Yanfu. Yeah, send in your questions, cooking related questions. This can be about what do I serve? This can be about what do I make on a first date? This can be about sustainability.
Let's not get a lot of like exactly how much paprika should I put in? Ask the question that you think would be interesting for other people to hear the answer to.
And let's not get any questions about how to pronounce paprika correctly. So food questions, sustainability, a big question of the book is like, what should I eat? How should I eat? I want to do less meat, but I don't know how to do it. Just whatever you got. And if they're bad, we won't answer. And if they're good, it'd be great. And tune in for our Don't Panic Pantry. Oh, I guess you won't be hearing that. Well, maybe you will. Yeah. Tune in for our live Don't Panic Pantry. It'll be this January 22nd, Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That makes it 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember, there's always time for a dog. Who's that?
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.